I'm just gonna like pull like 90 G's and just like yeet my plane going the other direction that you're not going.
while actively going faster.
While actively going like 400 kilometers an hour and shit. I've tried, but the thing is, I don't like building things that already exist in real life, if that makes any sense. I'm one of the people who
Yeah.
will push the boundaries a little bit when it comes to the vehicles themselves. Like, for example, this is a snub fighter. You wouldn't think it's a snub fighter because it doesn't fucking look like a snub fighter, and it kind of has that weird little shape going on at the ass. But, you know, it's a snub fighter. It's also pretty damn quick for a little snub fighter, I will admit. For something that took me 20 minutes to throw together, I think this thing's pretty neat. Sure, it only has 2 Gatling guns, but it adds character. It adds character to the machine. Like, wouldn't you say, Coil, having only 2 Gatling guns adds character to the little thing?
Well, it's 2 Gatling guns. It'll do something at the very least. Better than no guns.
It's called a paper shredder for a reason. It's also pretty maneuverable for what it is. Um, the fastest plane I have with no glitches. Let me just land this thing nicely here. I'll go over perfect landing. 10 out of 10 would recommend not landing this thing like that. This thing comes in way too fast on its landings, I swear. But I guess the fastest plane I have, if we're just talking straight line speed, I have to find it again. No, not that. Those are the glitched ones. Honestly, I'm gonna say it's gonna be this one that's like the quickest that I have that isn't glitched. It's an old design that I revamped a bit with some of the newer stuff. And it can get up to like 650, 660. But it also turns pretty nicely too. That's its bonus. It turns really well for like what it is. An old design kind of brought back to life in my eyes. Ah! I hit a rock. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Ha. I'm just like, look, I'm gonna Google something real quick. I got like an alert on my computer that I just need to look up for a second. That should pop back up here in this. Yeah, okay, cool. You know, we're just gonna minimize that for now. I don't need to think about it anymore. But yeah, um, let me just grab another couple vehicles I built. Because some of these are really good. Some of these I actually do like. But for example, the missile carrier thing I already showed off. I have a lot of old shit that I could pull back and just let loose on the world again. Half of this shit I don't know what it does or what it was supposed to be. The other half of this shit I'm just what the fucking about. Where's like my old plane that I have? You know what? I'm gonna make a bullshit plane. I'm just gonna look in this direction, pop this out. Boop. You see, here's how you make a very fast plane. You just take these as your middle part. Make sure you get everything kind of in place a little bit beforehand, just a wee bit. Now I like to use the little armor things here to connect the front and the other side, the back and the front, same difference. Now this is what I do to connect them. You don't have to do this. I just recommend people do. Now what you do is you set this to toggle. And what you also do is you extend this out a little tiny bit. And then you can remove these basically because you have your setup. And you're just gonna grab these. This is like a not glitched fast plane essentially. This is what this thing's gonna be. Now what you want is you want a lot of power. You don't want the weak stuff. So by having a bunch of these in the center, you're gonna get a lot of just extra power that you might not need right away. Which is important because you're gonna need lift. Now if I did this right, I should be able to put the wings almost right on the lift thing. I'll toggle that to 1 and copy it over. And then I'll go like this and this. I don't use the focus button. Like, sure, I will check it once in a while and all that, but I don't really ever use the focus. I build my stuff mainly by freehanding it and hoping it sticks. Now this will come into play in a second, but you might see why I'm gonna narrow it down. Before we never narrowed things down, in the sense of like we never did this kind of shit. The only thing I usually leave on for when I'm building planes is the weight.